The Sommerler Institute Museum collects some of the tools used since the second half of the 19th century to provide a technical and scientific education to its pupils. The students acquire competencies to display in land surveying, in the industrial sector and in trade, or they were given the opportunity to attend university. The institute was born in 1852 during the period called the preparatory decade to the Risorgimento. This school targeted the Turin middle class who was not allowed access to the more elitarian senior high school education. This part of the population needed an adequate preparation to the slow but steady economic, industrial and bourgeois development of a newborn state. Even thought with some delays, the issues of the technical and scientific achievements of the rest of Europe arrived in Italy. These achievements brought about the mass society, the second industrial revolution and the imperialism, that is, the military or economic conquest and the consequent partition among the most industrialized European countries, USA and Japan, of the African, Asian and Latin American continents. In our country, the schools, especially the technical institutes, trained up their students not only on the professional side but also from a patriotic slant. They tried to create a sense of membership and national identity necessary for a very young state, which risked to be divided as soon as it was created. For this reason, the national leadership turned the utmost attention to the middle class. Economical development, science, technical education and patriotism came together in the walls of Sommerler Institute, into a city like Turin, which was one of the first in Italy to form this strong link and to head towards the industrial world, once the role of political capital had been lost. The result of this mix of political goals and educational purposes was clear at Somme at the end of the First World War. 108 students perished during the war. 4 gold medals, 27 silver medals and several bronze ones were awarded. A historian wrote, "The nationalization of lower middle classes offered its scarlet flowers." After the war, there was the advent of the 20 years of fascism and of the school reform, which was elaborated by the philosopher Giovanni Gentile in 1923. The school reform took away from Sommerler the industrial section transferred to the school Avogadro, and especially the physical-mathematical section, which became the new senior high school specializing in scientific education called Galileo Ferraris. In general, the reform was about a new organization of the high school, which increased the distance between the senior and the technical education, penalizing the second one. Then it was the time of the colonial adventure in Ethiopia, of racial laws against Jews and of the Second World War. Its devastating effects of destruction affected also Somme Institute. The summer bombing in 1943 made the school unfit and the students were forced to an exodus, which brought them to the Azeglio High School, to Istituto della Provvidenza and for some years to Figlie delle Militari Institute.
The object displayed in the physical and chemical section of the museum should be set in this context, while the computer science section tells us about a more recent story. The story of a technical and commercial institute which after the storm of the Second World War got into the Italian Republic without a building. The first, as we said, was partially destroyed by the bombing in 1943. Found a new location in the actual seat in Corso Duca degli Abruzzi, inaugurated in 1954 by the President of the Republic of the time, Luigi Einaudi, former teacher of the institute. These were the decades of Maya international historical processes, such as the Cold War or the advent of consumerism, and the national levels of phenomena like the economic boom and the migration from the south to the north of Italy. Exactly in these years, and thanks to the phenomena, the Institute had a steep increase in students' enrollment. In this growth, it was supported not only by the changes of the Italian society and of the Turin, but also by the education policy. On one hand, the institution of the Unitary Lower Secondary School in 1962, and on the other, the reduction of the distance between the senior high school and technical education, allowing students with a technical degree to access all university departments. In the 1960s, the Somme was affected by the students' protest, which at the time was shaking the Western world. It lost the traditional section of surveyors, and in the following decade it assisted to a slight decrease in enrollment. In the same years, an important local and international metamorphosis took place. In fact, Turin lost its status of one company town, the Fiat, and the world headed towards globalization, opening up to new forms of communication. In this context, the school set up a course for computer programmer accountants. In this context, the school set up a course for computer programmer accountants looking for a school identity, which could adapt to the fast and complex changes of the society without losing the inheritance of a long past. After the two sections of science and physics, the third section of the museum is dedicated to introduction of computer science in the institute, and it exhibits the switch from the mechanical calculator to the computer. This change mirrors the evolving role of the content as well as the transformation of the school scenario and of our society coping with the hard task to provide future citizens, the students, with tools suitable to respond to the challenges and to the requests of third millennium.